TNA had two crossover events with the Best Damn Sports Show, which was Fox Sports Net's talk show, basically their equivalent of SportsCenter, I suppose, except more like light entertainment than news, which I guess SportsCenter is more light entertainment than news, but so it is their SportsCenter. I'm going to stick to that comparison. So they would have a half-hour show every night, or an hour show, depends, and TNA had two 1 hour specials with them, which were basically like more or less just 1 hour wrestling shows that also had an awful lot of antics with the Best Damn Sports Show hosts, who are John Sally, Chris Rose, Leanne Tweeden, Brian Cox, and Tom Arnold.
And they all suck.
It is a terrible glimpse back into mid-2000s like bro entertainment culture, and it's not a welcome glimpse, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, let's all harass this woman for 4 hours.
Like, yeah, the whole thing with Leanne Tweedy is she takes over Shane Douglas's role as backstage interviewer, and everybody who talks to her just sexually harasses her. That's the entire shtick.
And Dusty does like I'm a nice guy routine.
Yeah. Because like she goes to interview the NYC hit on her, she's like, go away. Then Dusty comes in and is like, I'm also gonna hit on you, daddy.
It's awful.
Oh, it's bad stuff. And like Tom Arnold, who is probably like the funniest of them, also makes the most problematic jokes.
Who is a for real actual comedian.
But also he's a comedian in 2004, so he's punching down, baby.
Yeah.
There is a lot of punching. Like there is a moment where he's like outside interviewing people, and he actually has some like funny one-liners, and that's about it.
I don't care about any of this. I wish I didn't watch it, and it's stupid.
I deeply regret making Liam watch it because I think it soured him on the whole month.
I was not happy. I'll tell you that. I was not happy to be watching any of this. I'm not even happy to do the show this month. Like, you should have, if I could accurately describe how little I wanted to do this month after watching this, I don't think I have the words. I felt empty. I felt lifeless after watching this. All happiness had been sapped from my body. I didn't enjoy a second of it. Then I was kind of like glazed over with all the TVs because of it. And then we got to the pay-per-view and I was just like, thank God Garrett's here so I have someone to talk to because I hate everything.
Oh, November 10th, 2004, we had the Best Damn Wrestling Event period.
And the Best fucking joke of calling it the Best Damn Wrestling Event. I know it's the name of your fucking show. I don't care. I'm angry.
All of the Best Damn hosts walked into Universal. Chris Rose was calling wrestling fake, so then Jeff Jarrett hit him with a guitar.
Ha ha ha! What a funny joke to do. I love to come and then have the wrestling fake, and then all the wrestlers, they come around and they say, hey buddy, it's not fake, and then you go ha ha, and then we all have a laugh.
A laugh is a word for it. So then we're in the Impact Zone proper as JB introduces John Sally, Chris Rose, Leanne Tweeden, Brian Cox, and Tom Arnold. Chris Rose calls wrestling faker than Michael Jackson's nose, Pamela Anderson's chest, and Tom Arnold's wife's orgasms. That's not the only Pamela Anderson joke.
Pan Am in the news.
I don't know. I think she's just famous and she has fake boobs, so they make jokes. Hope she was having a good time for herself while these creeps were far away from her.
Oh no, do not search up Pamela Anderson in a year because it's just like, look at all her naked photos. She could vote in 2004?
I'd imagine she could vote in many years.
Nah, 2004.
Okay, good for her.
Because I think she's Canadian, so she got like her American citizenship in 2004.
So do you think she voted for Dusty Rhodes or Vince Russo?
I think she voted for the show to end. She didn't have any releases in 2004. She was in the Fox sitcom Stacked in 2000. No, that was 2005. She didn't. 2004 was the 1 year she took off.
Yeah, and they're still taking pot shots at her.
What the hell? Who was she married to in 2004? She wasn't even married in 2004.
Yeah, leave this woman alone.
God, she did nothing to you. You cretins.
Yeah, so Roddy Piper interrupts. Roddy, he's a fan of all the hosts other than Chris Rose. Then he invites Rose into the pit with Roddy Piper on the following night show and slaps Rose.
Roddy Piper is insane at this point, and it's kind of cool.
He is fully like losing his mind. The man is just like ranting and raving without any coherence, but in a way that's a little more charming than the Asylum era ranting and raving without any coherence.
Well, this is Roddy Piper, you know. This is even like the Piper that we get in WWE at like the same time, you know.
Yeah, there was always the two Pipers. It's like the Piper who's like real locked in, focused. You think of that Jericho promo we did in the build up to WrestleMania 25, like that promo rocks when he has like something to sink his teeth into. Whereas here, when you just send him out there, it's like Piper, go shout at these sports hosts. He's just like, I'm not gonna do anything but shout.
Which is funny because like I was watching the WrestleMania 21, and they did the segment with Piper and Austin, and it was like a weird hybrid of both.
Oh, you get the double-sided Piper. Wow.
Yeah, it was Piper who knew he was on a big stage, so he had to deliver. But it was unhinged NWA-TNA Piper a little bit.
It's always in there. It can come out at any moment.
He was trying his darndest to come out.
This segment continued for reasons past incomprehension. They showed footage of Monty Brown and Brian Cox's confrontation on the previous week's Best Damn. Monty came out, he cut a promo on Cox, but the Naturals jumped him. The Naturals called Monty a big, dumb football player just like Cox, and they say Cox should find a tag team partner for himself.
Oh my god, I wonder who he could possibly pick to be his tag team partner.
Yeah, for the following night, it will be Brian Cox and a mystery partner facing the Naturals.
Oh, I have no clue whom it could be. Didn't they like someone said it was going to be Stern at some point? They teased that.
Howard Stern finally making his TNA debut after they pitched that puppet against Beetlejuice segment.
Well, that would have made sense with the return of puppets, so.
So they went to break, they came back, and they're still in the ring. They pitch to a Victory Road recap, then they come back and they do sick burns in the things you wouldn't say to TNA wrestlers. Kid Cash, Dallas, and Team Canada were the subjects of their jokes. They came out. Trill K and AMW made the save.
Let's do our own things you wouldn't say segment, but we'll do it about Days of Thunder.
Things you wouldn't say to Dave Ryan.
Things you wouldn't say to Dave Ryan. Hey, Dave Ryan, I hate the Queen just like you. I get it, you wouldn't say it because he loves her, you see.
This is a good one. Well done.
Hey, Days of Thunder, more like Days of Plunder, because you rely on gimmicks. Got him. Fucking.
So then we have Dusty is backstage with Leanne Tweeden. She replaces Franchise. She does the segment where she interviews NYC. And then Dusty does in fact hit on her.
Hey, Dave Ryan, more like Dave crying at all the things that we have to say. Lee Malone, more like Lee all alone, because we're fucking roasted Dave.
You think we're going to get a brief oasis in this desert of nonsense when AJ Styles and Alex Shelley come to the ring.
I think I'm having a heart attack.
And they wrestle for like 90 seconds and Styles wins with a Styles clash.
Made me so upset.
Yeah, Abyss showed up, dropped him the shock treatment, chokeslammed him through a table to set up a tables match for the next night's show.
He's just protecting his baby bear.
That's true. He's a fan of his old pal, Alex Shelley. Goldilocks is gone, but their connection isn't. Even though they hated each other.
His friend, Alex Shelley.
They counted down the top 5 moments in TNA history on this episode.
Yeah, let's rank them.
And the moments they chose were quite interesting. So there was Brian Urlacher killing Johnny Fairplay.
Sure. They're all fucking stupid celebrity bullshit.
That was going to be my point. There's no like Triple X AMW. There's no Raven debuts.
No one watching that show knows who they are.
But that's the point, isn't it? Like to introduce
they're doing,
those guys.
Hey, look at all these cool celebrities we have on our shows. You should watch us. We're so major league.
But shouldn't there be a little bit of both? I guess there is a little bit of both because like AMW do wrestle, Style does wrestle, Killings does wrestle. They do introduce the wrestlers in the wrestling matches, and then they're like, "Hey, what about that time Jarrett attacked Hogan?"
They're like, "Hey, it's a fucking country fella who sang about 9/11."
Yeah, number 3 was the Titans, number 2 was Chris Rock, and number 1 was
I remember the Titans. I'm on fire. I'm on fire today. You know about Remember the Titans, Garrett?
Tom Arnold is
You know
checking
that Remember
Tio
the
for
Titans
weapons.
2000
He then
film
proposes that Tio uses kids' toys.
starring
which
Denzel Washington,
That's a joke, you see. He's using kids' toys because it's Tio.
Ryan Gosling was in it.
Leanne has Johnny B. Bad backstage. Even Johnny
Made
B. Bad hips on her.
$136 million at the box office.
I don't know why Johnny B. Bad is there to hype up Ultimate X, but that's what he was being interviewed for.
Because the natural order of Ultimate X goes Jimmy Superfly Snooker, Johnny B. Bad, AJ Styles.
That is the progression of wrestlers in wrestling history.
Yeah.
AMW wrestled Kid Cash in Dallas. They actually had a nice little match.
Shut up.
There were 2 good matches on this show. Like, the Ultimate X was a good match too. But listen, it's a good match.
Did you know that the filming locations for Remember the Titans?
I haven't even seen this film, so shut up about Remember
How
the
have you not
Titans.
seen Remember the Titans?
Because what, you said it made like $140 million. A lot of people haven't seen Remember the Titans, I'll have you know.
It made $140 million in 2000. Let me do a conversion.
Lord of the Rings made like $1 billion at that
Oh,
stage,
Lord
so you
of
shut
the
up.
Rings. Fucking nerd. I've never seen Lord of the Rings in my life, and I never will. You're not helping me out here at all.
Nope, I'm gonna leave you flounder about Remember the Titans.
1, 3, 7. 1, 2, 3.
You have 6 zeros for $1 million, 7 for tens of millions, 8 for hundreds of millions.
Yeah, I think that's right. Let's calculate. Boop, 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 boop. That's like... fuck. 1 more 0. No, I lost it!
Harris
Why is this
pinned
happening
Kid
to
Cash
me? What
with
have I
a
done to
spear
deserve this fate?
after Brian Cox helped AMW, which moves us on to a trio tag.
$237 million, Garrett.
That's not even as much money as Black Adam made, and Black
On a
Adam was a
$30
flop.
million budget.
Again, we're not talking about profitability. We're talking about people actually seeing this movie.
It won many an award. How many awards did Black Adam win?
We're not in award seasons yet, so
Exactly,
who can possibly
shut
know?
up. It has an average score of 6.3 out of 10.
Tree Life Crew had a game of horse with John Sally.
Yeah, whatever.
Tell me all about this game of horse they had, Liam.
I think Shark Boy was there.
He was.
That's cool.
Like, you would think doing a game of basketball with Shark Boy and D-Ray and Tree Life Crew, there's at least some jokes there. They somehow didn't tell any.
The joke should have been that Shark Boy was the best basketball player on the court.
Yeah, because they did the big build-up that, like, Shark Boy was there to take the final shot. And the joke should have been, you're right, that Shark Boy is there. Everyone's like, it's Shark Boy. He's going to miss. And then Shark Boy hits, like, a half-court shot. And now he's the biggest basketball player in the history of existence.
Yeah. He has, like, Jordans, but they're Sharkins. That don't make any sense. Quick, think of something. Think of something better. Go.
The Sharks. He
All
plays
right,
for the San Jose Sharks. I think they're a hockey team.
We know so much about American sports.
Yeah, the bit that they do is BG was terrible and then Conan sank his shot. So at least there's that. They're dunking a little on BG.
Yep.
Mike Tenay and Tom West were there with Tom Arnold and Chris Rose.
I've brought real third hour vibes to this best damn wrestling event period review.
They were talking about what makes TNA special. Mike Tenay was like, you know, there's really the X Division. And then Tom Arnold starts talking about hot chicks.
You think you're special, special.
Jeff Hammond, 6 points of impact with Jarrett. Daniels faced Kazarian. Daniels hit the best damn moonsault ever. Tracy distracted the referee. Shane's interference then backfired, allowing Daniels to hit the Angels to win. Why he couldn't just win with his move then? Who could possibly say? Let's speed up this review at best damn. John Sally did the basketball thing. Jeff Jarrett was attacked by the Titans. Remember the Titans? Tom Arnold was talking to TNA refs about his hardcore match. He was perhaps a little bit problematic. Raven lost to Ron Killings in a terrible wrestling match. TNA did tease that there will be another big debut on Impact. Rolled up Raven out of the Raven effect for the win. Puppet brawls with Tom Arnold backstage because he wants to kill him. He is all of us. We did have the return of Puppet. We should focus some time on the return of Puppet. Tio defeated Puppet with Tom Arnold as special referee.
We had the return of Tio as well.
That's true. Do you think the reason they didn't bring back Goldilocks was because they knew they were bringing back Puppet, and obviously they can't work together?
Yeah, there's heat.
So Tom Arnold interfered on Tio's behalf, leading to Tio hitting Puppet with, I believe, a scale, as Arnold counted with a microphone on Puppet's face. which was very rude of him. And also, they're meant to be baby faces here. Puppet's meant to be the heel, beating up these guys as they're teaming up on them 2-on-1.
I didn't get that vibe at all. I thought for sure that like Puppet was meant to be the babyface.
Which means he should have triumphed over all of these guys, teaming up on the poor guy.
Tom Arnold looks strong.
And then main event, Chris Sabin defeated Sanjay Dutt and Neil Skipper in an Ultimate X match.
This is the saddest match I've ever seen.
Why?
Because this was on this show.
It was a good match, to be fair.
It was truly pathetic. I hated every second of it.
They did go out there and had like just a 6-minute Ultimate X sprint.
Which makes it more upsetting. It made it worse that they like tried.
This show didn't deserve their effort.
You know who I fucking came out of this having much more respect for?
Who?
Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. Because they said fuck you to being on this.
Well, it was taped before they debuted, but sure.
I don't care. They still could have done it. They could have done a backstage segment.
By the way, when Puppet came out, no reaction. The Impact Zone are fake fans.
Yeah, they don't know anything about. That's why that was the Eric Watts problem, we call it.
So this match was actually for something. The winner would face Petey Williams at Turning Point for the X Division title. Sabin won.
Petey Williams is an amazing athlete.
Which brings us the Best Damn Sports Wrestling Event Night 2, November 11th. They did 2 nights of this.
Why? Why did they do a second night of this?
This was like, it's such a good show. It's such a good
Why
idea.
Do they
we need
hate
2
me?
whole hours. So Tom Arnold roasted Puppet, roasted in exclamation points. Roddy Piper came out here with live bagpipes. He's hosting Chris Rose on the In the Pit with Roddy Piper. Rose was wearing the Terry Taylor / Bobby Roode / Scott D'Amore robe. We had the TNA return of Johnny Fairplay.
And I like how they both like shit on him. And it makes it even funnier because like Johnny Fairplay was like Roddy Piper's whipping boy.
Yeah, remember when they were like talking about doing an angle with Piper and Fairplay that was going to be Piper's big feud and Fairplay's big feud, and instead this is all they ever do. He comes out in this Best Damn segment.
I also like that apparently like this is meant to be like the big Rose face turn. But he's still like a giant piece of shit. He got no comeuppance.
Yeah, so Fairplay comes out. He calls himself the biggest star in the history of reality. Do you get it, Liam?
Yeah, it's like reality television.
He's very funny. Then Piper sprayed him with a fire extinguisher, and then Rose gave him a body slam. Not a very good body slam either. Brian Cox, a much better wrestler than Chris Rose.
Yeah, but like Chris Rose has to like get him up, but also he's working with Johnny Fairplay.
Do you think Well, listen, I've seen Johnny Fairplay take the sickest powerbomb of all time from AJ Styles. So
yeah, but that's AJ Styles doing it.
I have faith. Brian Urlacher, non-wrestler, hit a damn good press slam on Johnny Fairplay. I have faith.
Again, you're talking about people who actually have like muscle on their frame.
I have faith in Johnny Fairplay's ability to take bumps. So this is all on Chris Rose.
But anyway, yeah, this sucked, and Chris Rose is annoying as shit. But one thing I'll give Chris Rose credit is somehow out of all of them, he was by far the best host.
Oh, what do you have against the rest of them?
They all sucked. They're all fucking annoying. They're all terrible hosts. They're not funny. I hate all of them. Chris Rose is the only one who looks like he's ever actually been on a camera before.
To be fair, his job is literally just host.
Yeah. And he's the one who actually looks like he should be on camera. It's a shame he's doing a terrible gimmick.
Because all the rest are former sports stars who are now hosts, or Tom Arnold in his case, a comedian who's now a host.
Tom Arnold.
Listen, Leanne Tweedy's a perfectly fine host too.
She was fine. She didn't do anything. They got her out of there pretty quickly compared to everyone else.
Yeah, so after the power slam, Piper sprayed Rose with a fire extinguisher, which, as we mentioned last month, he went to business for himself, and they very quickly cut away here when he started spraying with the fire extinguisher.
Mm-hmm.
Leanne has Team Canada. Damore's upset about her attire as a journalist. It's like Americans these days. He's going after John Sally. We had 3 live crew against Team Canada, and they captured the flag match. BG got the flag. They won. We ran down the top 5 finishers in TNA history. 5 Canadian Destroyer, 4 Styles Clash. I think I forgot to write down what 3 was, but I'm just going to guess it was the Pounce. 2 was the Swanton, and of course the best finisher in TNA history is the Stroke.
I don't even disagree.
On that list of all those other moves I named, you would put the Stroke as number 1.
Yeah.
I guess it's probably beaten the most people.
Yeah, exactly. The most winningest.
That's what they counted here. Tom Arnold interviewed a bunch of people, a bunch of fans, made some jokes, mostly at Hulk Hogan's expense. Brian Cox was backstage teasing who his mystery partner would be. You had AJ and Abyss in a tables match. AJ would have won with a sunset flip powerbomb through a table. Cool. Leanne had Tom. He said many things, many of which I cannot repeat on the show for fear of being cancelled. Leanne talked to Puppet. She's not pleased that she stooped to interview him. Puppet's like, don't do that. Which is, like,
fair, by the way.
Yeah, he's like, don't patronize me, bitch.
Yeah.
He goes to threaten Leanne, but Franchise came back. He then had the Tom Arnold versus Puppet match. Puppet's here. Puppet's
Puppet
back.
is here.
So the T.O. came out, hit a swanton, then T.O. pinned Puppet, even though he's not in the match.
Listen, what do you want?
I want consistency and I want rules.
Out of the best damn wrestling event period, night 2.
Yes, is it so much to ask to get consistency and rules?
Yes. Have you seen the show?
They showed the Still to Come feature, which was actually from the night before. They fucked up. They showed taped like a week in advance, by the way, so they had plenty of time to fix that. Petey Williams defeated Jarrell Clark, Michael Shane, Shark Boy, Sanjay Dutt. Brian Cox and Monty Brown defeated the Naturals. Cox actually, for a non-wrestler, looked pretty good.
I barely paid attention at this point. My brain was turned off.
He hit a power slam. He locked Douglas in the figure 4. Monty hit Stevens with the pounce, and Cox gets the win. Oh yeah, Monty's the mystery partner, by the way.
You know, like, as I was watching this show at this point, I think I blacked out and I started seeing red, and I'm only just remembering it now.
No, Amazing Red wasn't in the X Division match.
Ha ha ha!
They really ruined. Not that it was a surprise.
Remember the Titans?
Brian Cox came out to Monty Brown's music, and they just didn't acknowledge it. And then Monty Brown came out to Monty Brown's music, and they're like, "Whoa, mystery partner's Monty!"
Ooh,
Leanne had Lex Luger backstage for some reason. They were meant to be talking about the Six Sides of Steel main event, but he kept talking about himself. Then posed shirtless in a further sexual harassment suit that I'm sure she filed immediately after.
Sounds like Lex Luger.
And our main event, inside Six Sides of Steel, you have Jeff Jarrett against Jeff Hardy. Jeff squared, face off once again. Dusty was on commentary, the highlight of which was when Jeff Hardy pulled his shirt off to go for the swanton. Dusty shouted, "He's getting naked!"
That's a good line. Imagine if Jeff Hardy won this.
He probably just should have, right?
Yeah, there's no title on the line.
It's non-title, it's broadly non-canon. Just put Jeff Hardy over. You beat him a million times. You could say he beat him in the build-up to the Turning Point match at least. Like, just have a Jeff Hardy win this match.
Damn you, Jeff Jarrett.
Just beating Hardy
again.
Put
someone over.
Oh, well, he will put someone over later this month.
Put Darby over.
Hardy kicked out of the stroke. It went for the swanton off the cage, but missed. And then Jarrett hit Hardy with a chain and won. Styles hit a crossbody off the cage then to end the show.
Woo! Let's never talk about or acknowledge those shows ever again.
We will have to. Actually, no, we'll mention it here. They were trying, hopefully, to get really good ratings, so that Fox Sports will either do this regularly, fucking God forbid, or at least give them a better TV spot. And the ratings were a 0.26 and a 0.17 respectively for each show. And the show usually does about like a 0.15. So first night, modest success. Second night, a completely average rating for the show. So they never did it again. God bless.
So perhaps if they didn't like blow their load and do 2 shows, they might have actually had a chance of doing it again next year.
Yeah, it might have come across as, a 0.26. That's near, not quite double, but close-ish to double what the show usually does in this time slot. So that's a good success story until they did it again. And it's like, nope, there was one night of this, and that's it.
But like, it also probably would have done well if you had just made it a yearly thing.
Also, when you consider the second night was probably like the bigger of the cards. It had Brian Cox wrestling. It had the Six Sides of Steel cage match. It also had a lot of stuff on the first night building to the second night. And then a shitload of people didn't come back.
I feel like you could have just built all that all on the same show, and you would have had a show that was more appealing to their fan group too. Like, if you had have built to like the Brian Cox match, and you had have built to the Tom Arnold like getting in the ring thing, and just done them both in like angles building up into that show, I think that audience of that show would have enjoyed it a lot more.
They're like, I'm not coming back tomorrow. I've had enough of this.
Why would they?
Well, that's the best damn sports shows. Which we can now never mention again.
Fuck off and die.